Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh to our brothers and sisters in our international communities. I would like to introduce you to our broadcast called Seven's Word Broadcast. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Welcome to another broadcast of Seven's Word. Tonight, my man.
You can make it here.
You can make it anywhere.
I seen the board the other day, 7 Words Podcast.
Yes.
The tagline.
It's a New Yorker title, it's a tough one. If you can make it a tough place, that means you can make it anywhere.
I like that. Which is true. A lot of youth ask me, they say we want to go abroad and then they don't do anything.
Yes.
They wake up from their mama's house and then they go to the cafeteria and then they say, we want to go abroad. I said, but what did you do here? And they say, but there's no opportunities here. I said, if you can make it here,
you can make it anywhere.
You can make it anywhere, yeah.
That's a struggle, make something out of nothing. Oh. That's the biggest challenge, especially for third world places like here. And if you can do that, if you have the ability, that means you can go to another country, learn the language, re-educate yourself, and do something again amazing with it. Because this is the place you grow up in, this is the place you know. So if you cannot do it here, you can do it
because
nowhere.
A place doesn't change you.
Nah, it's you. It's you.
You change you.
That's like my third country, my fourth country actually. I've rebuilt myself now the last 7 years. True. And again, it's the blueprint. Like every time I elevate myself, and that's the whole point of the slogan. Like it gets tough. How tough are you?
Yeah, true.
Like for example, when we started this broadcast, I was thinking it's going to be easy. I was thinking it's going to be a bit of fun, a bit big and forward, have cool slogans.
But you see, there's work going in.
Bismillah.
The editing, the everything.
You have to think. You have to create content. You have to find the time for it.
Yeah.
You have to find the right people to host with you. You need a team behind yourself. And I'm glad Radar, our boy, gave me the opportunity at AK Studio to invest. So I'm a 50% shareholder now.
You're part of the team now.
Part of the team now. Money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah.
And when I do something, I like to do it to my best ability or leave it. Half man, it's not a man.
Not sure.
So especially the last 3-4 months, if you've seen it, game changers. I changed totally with the gym, new regime, stop all of the idiot thing. Even afternoons, my naps are very short now, even if I get naps, because I'm trying to run 5 companies in this podcast. And I just came back from the 8 days exploration, remember? I've been away.
Yeah, in the mountains.
In the mountains again, and Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
You're a mountain boy.
Ooh, you lose weight, brother. You get black as hell in the sun. Trying to reach the stars is easy in your mind.
True.
I was doing day by day, the grimy work, the baby steps. It's hard, you know what I mean, brother?
True.
So, back to the podcast.
Yeah. New government soon, inshallah.
Yeah, before the new government, should we not talk about the new changes that we're planning to make our audience more a little bit, to see them we're growing as a broadcast, we're growing as a team, we're growing as AK Studio.
True.
So...
you mean we're taking the studio... Yeah, we're moving, yeah.
My
and then
man.
Hopefully, nice decoration, we're going to pimp it up.
We're going to pimp it all the way up. It's going to be a classic set to begin with sofas, and where we can have a nice ambience and audience.
True.
And have a nice atmosphere, where people really... want to look at you and enjoy your conversations and maybe even join your conversations. The whole point is to get more guests in, more topics, more fire. And then we have the classic studio setup that we have right now already. So good things are coming, brother.
Inshallah.
Again,
you put in the hard work.
Yes, it's a learning curve. You learn.
It's the first time in media, right?
Oh my days, first time, mashallah. I had it always in me, I always had the interest, but you need something to tell. Who wants to watch if you have nothing to tell?
Yeah. Sometimes you'll be like, who wants to hear what I have to say? But a lot of people have something to say, and there's always an ear to listen.
They do. And what makes more interest for me is with my new regime that I'm living now the last 3 months, the change that I did is I have a story to tell. I changed many times in my lifetime, it's not where you start is where you finish in life. Like a British man said to me years ago, if you're being born poor, it's not your fault. If you're being born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, that's your fault. So life, it's a process, It's a real process where you have to really rebuild yourself. And if you fail, learn from the failure. Don't get too upset with the failure, because failure is part of you.
And it's not only financial change, it's also personal change,
Bismillah.
personal development. It's very
brother,
important.
6 to 6. And then twice a week, the studios and like the day's getting busier. Gym regime 4 times a week, you know. Then you need to have time for yourself as well. And it's hard. But success has a price.
True.
You give up something of yourself, you know. Your happiness, your private time will be limited. But inshallah ta'ala, like the Arabs taught me, when you're 55, you can enjoy it.
They say تعب بعد راحة.
Ta'ban rah, you said it, my man. So yeah, should we jump in now?
I want to jump in, man. I'm very excited about the changes going around us, you know.
Yeah,
And,
new government.
new government, new president. We are now in the transitional period. Everyone's talking about who's getting a ministry position, director general position. What's going on behind the scenes?
Honestly, our new president, Abdurrahman era, he's a diplomat, he's a quiet man, and these things being planned a long time behind the scenes. There's nothing new. On top of that, he put a protocol in place where you have to go to certain sultans and ask them to represent you and bring you a CV. He wants CVs, that man.
True.
He don't want no...
Traditional leaders.
Correct. He does not want, not only leaders, he wants people with skills. He doesn't want any Tom and Harry to become a minister or be part of this government, especially when he's trying to change the country and take them forward.
Okay.
Before, it was just pure tribalism, you know?
Okay.
I think we're going away from it, a little bit from it with this current government.
But before we go into it, there's a lot of fake news going on.
Oh, yeah.
Every Duck and Harry is being mentioned.
To become a minister, yeah.
I think you were one of the people who mentioned. Minister of Finance.
Ah, you're funny as hell.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
No.
Baylor, but to cut the banter, just
Yeah, he's been mentioned.
which is a veteran finance minister in Somalia.
Yes, he was. And
What do you think about that?
that's one of the interesting ones. Why? A lot of people talk about it. You know, everybody talks about it. And when you look back in our traditions, whoever worked for Somalian government normally doesn't get a chance to work for this government. But I think that man is totally misunderstood. I personally believe that man is misunderstood in terms of people don't even know who he is.
True.
To begin with, he's a Somalilander. He's being born in Somaliland. He's being raised in Somaliland. He did his basic education in Somaliland. And his era, he grew up, was Greater Somalia. So people always looked up to that. And what I heard about him is when he went to the States, he went to university, he actually had a dream. He wanted to become the finance minister for Somalia one day. And
Okay,
yeah,
I always dreamt about it.
Yeah, he dreamt about it. There's a newspaper article about that man.
Precise dream.
Correct. And don't forget, it's a different era he came from. You know, and he's a Somalilander, 100%. So for a man
Backbone.
of his knowledge and his caliber, and don't forget he comes from the World Bank sector, he comes from...
Well, he has a PhD in
my man, in finance.
yeah.
Yes, and African Development Bank, and he has a great network in that sector. That's very, very important. And what he did for Somalia, even if we don't like the Somali government, but we like the Somali people, let's differentiate this very big time. The government of Somalia is holding us back. That's what we believe as Somalilanders. But the people are our brothers and sisters, you know, in the end. So back to this political government conversation. He is one of the hot candidates, and I think he's just totally misunderstood, and I think he could be a great asset to Somaliland.
because of his background.
Of his background, of his honesty, of his work ethic.
You know what I think? Sorry to cut you off there.
No problem.
What I think is people. We need skilled people, but above that as well, we need leadership in every ministry, because I believe personally, you could have this skill but not leadership.
Yeah.
And a minister should be a leader, because we have a position called the Director General of the Ministry. He's the one driving it, but the ministry is just a political position, and he should be directing the ministry in a way that is in the vision of the president. And you need a leadership for that. And if you have a skill set with it, even better. But our people always like, oh, you're a doctor, right? Oh, you should be a minister. That's it.
Look, let's give
What do
the
you think about
example that you came up with Baylor. I was very surprised, by the way. But it's a hot topic, by the way. It's a very hot topic. Everybody thinks about it. And people still associate with Somalia. Let's take our feelings away. let's take our feelings away and let's be nationalists. Who could be good for this current government is the question. Who could be a game changer? Who could be a good leader? Who could have the right skills to take certain ministeriums forward? He's a prime example. He has the knowledge, he has the experience, he has the background. I couldn't tell you about his leadership. I would lie about it, brother. I could not tell you. But I believe personally we should take our our personal beliefs to a side and give people a chance.
Okay.
Chance is important. People can change. Change doesn't come overnight, and change comes from deep inside. And if you believe in something, I believe he could be a game changer. And he believes in Somaliland. Clearly, he lives here. His family established themselves in Somaliland. They have businesses here. So from the skill set level that you're talking about and the knowledge that we're talking about, he would be an ideal candidate. But going back to great leaders, again, different ministeriums need more leadership. This is more technical. A minister needs to know his numbers. A minister needs to know how to calculate. A minister needs to know how the financial side works, where you can get funding and opportunities and work with the World Bank, African Development Bank, and all these other European nations as well, who gives us funding. So you need a finance background to be a minister. But for education, for example, you don't need to be a teacher to be a minister of education. I don't think so. But you should be a great management, skills set should be management, should be leadership, and should know how to get the best out of others.
True.
Very important, because in the end, you have administration of schools, you have teachers of schools, and then you have the students, and then you have the parents of the students. So you have to manage the whole package. How can you educate these people? Who we can put in these places? So you need a different skill set, particularly for that position.
What about health?
Health. I believe you need an administrator as a minister, a person with administration skills, not a doctor. A doctor should be management of hospitals and stuff like this, should be the medical side. But what administration? Look at NSS.
But you have to realize that a ministry is not just a minister.
Yes.
It has the director general, it has the department heads.
Yes.
And these people should be all skilled and have the expertise. But the minister is a political position.
As well.
Where
you have to lead the whole ministerium. And that ministerium has to lead a sector. So you need to be deciding who to put in the right position. So great management skills, great leadership skills.
Exactly.
Identifying the right people for the right positions is not easy. So you need to think out the box. So the way I say it, finance is finance, and the other ministeriums are a bit more tricky. You need more skills than just numbers, for example, you know? So,
yeah, for example, where I came from, Holland, the ministers were always from a different background than what they were assigned to. So you see a minister, which is the health minister, and his background is Dutch literature and history.
Great leader, great management,
Oh.
know how to select the right people. Don't forget there's so many talents out there, and a minister needs from everything something. You cannot just be one-sided person, because in the end you run a ministerium, you run a whole department for a whole country.
Sure.
So it is not easy, and the situation Abdurrahman Error is in, and his current government, because don't forget, he's been through election for a very long time, and he's been fighting in every corner of Somaliland, and he promised certain people something as well. So it is a bit of choosing the right people and returning favors. You have to understand politicians.
True, yeah. It's scratch my back, I scratch yours. A little bit this, a little bit that.
So,
you know?
me personally, I would give the administration a year.
At least.
At least. It takes 6 months to build something, and then 6 months to let it run. And I think the first cabinet change will be the interesting change. That's where the game time is.
In their manifesto, they have a 100 days goal. So the first 100 days.
The first 100 days, let somebody run anything and everything. And then I believe, based on their experience and the favorite to this is away, favorites being given away, the back being scratched, people can go more to what is needed for the country.
True.
And again, we set new diplomatic relationships as well now, because we
came yesterday.
Yeah, the Americans came yesterday, but there's more like of congratulation.
Sorry?
They congratulate.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations, sorry, they are the same.
But they are kind of cooking something maybe behind because they're probably not telling us, you know, but they are cooking something.
Yeah, they are cooking something.
They didn't tell us anything.
My company, Fairfield, is cooking something with my partners.
Americans
and, American partners that we have. And again, But I would like to talk this about in the recognition part. You know, I would like to keep this one for another episode. Let's talk back about the game changer that we have coming ahead of us.
Which is?
The new administration.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What I like the most is we are in a transitional period right now, new president, and at the same time, the Americans are in a new period of transition, you know, new president. So hopefully, together we will build something in the coming years to come. You know, it's a great opportunity for two presidents to start off at the same time.
Indeed.
You know,
but to begin with, we need to focus on ourselves.
Definitely, there's a lot of things going internally.
Correct. To get the respect and to be, we're not equal. We're not a country, so we have to work 5 times as hard.
We are a country.
Respected.
We are a country.
Not internationally.
We're not recognized.
Correct, but again, you grew up somewhere. I grew up somewhere. We didn't grow up here, and you know how governments works.
True.
And we're far away from being that kind of process in government where we can actually ask for recognition.
Sure.
Internally, we have to rebuild ourselves. We have to wait for the new leadership to see where it's going to take us, what direction, and who we're going to build around. Because in the end, you need a foreign ministerium that can function. You need an internal ministerium that can function. You need the education sector that can function. You need functional government departments to get the respect of the foreigners. Once you get the respect of the foreigners, you get a step closer to being a country. So this period, we should more focus on building ourselves. And to all Somalilanders, please, let's take clientism and tribalism out of this occasion, and let's build a fair government for this nation so we have a chance to grow. This is very important, and less side talks and more focus on what we want to achieve as a nation. And that's the total recognition. And to get that out of the Western communities and African communities, we have to be much better than we was previously, brother. That's what I believe.
I have one question.
Please.
New administration, do you think it will be an NGO-based economy or investment-seeking government? It's a huge difference.
We are relying on NGOs for 30 years. And as you know, easy money, nobody says no to it. Yeah. I come from the NGO sector. Me as a private for social company for private profit is a different level than NGO. I have to work hard for my contracts that I got and the funding opportunities so I can get it again next year. If I don't work hard, they terminate my contract, I never get my final payment as well. It gets paid in stages. Where NGOs get funded and they have to spend that money. Yeah. Yes. So
are you trying to save because you're a for-profit
organization? I don't know if I have another contract next year. I don't know if I have another funding opportunity. If I don't do my work to the standard of the donors, I'll be blacklisted easily. And we know Somaliland cannot be blacklisted because there's always been budgets written for this nation and they always get that money. And we didn't do the best with it yet, I believe. We could do much better with these funding opportunities that we have. And with this current government, I believe there's a chance to get the most out of it, inshallah ta'ala, with the new government coming in, because Abdurrahman Era is a diplomat again. He's a soft-spoken man and he will listen to the donors, he will listen to the Westerners and to the African Union and to the investors, and he will give them a chance. And we have to build the government around, if we get funding, just do the best with it. So we can grow as a nation. Then you get more respect. Because there's a lot of work to be done in Somalia. Let's be honest to each other. We're not even close to another African city. We still don't have fluent running water everywhere in Somalia. Highest electricity. You know, we're still dependent on World Remit and money transfers from out the country for people to be sent it, you know? And climate change is a big issue as well that we didn't really did best with it, with the funding that we had. And the funding is, compared to other countries, it's nothing. It's peanuts too. Don't forget, we don't get the full access to it. But I hope, we all know Somalilanders are entrepreneurs. 90% of people have their own businesses in Somaliland to survive. It's only like...
we always talk about investment, but the biggest investors for the past 30 years have been our own people.
Our own people.
Diaspora.
Diasporas and locals. You know what they build?
They've been investing for 30 years.
Correct.
Millions and millions into the country. Real estate and...
Not only real estate.
A lot of
shops. Every area has shops. You can buy bread. You can buy eggs everywhere. You can buy vegetables everywhere. There's many opportunities in the private sector, and Somalis take full grip of it. Somalis are good trades people. But what is missing again is bigger sectors, industry. Industry we cannot process because of electric. we are kind of limited by that, you know.
And I feel like this is the time because so everyone knows they had the DP World investment of $500 million, and I think it's going to attract more of this kind of investment in the years to come. Hopefully, inshallah.
Especially after this election, we showed stability. We showed that we're a nation that can function even under critical circumstances, and that we're not going to shoot each other. So that will give more security to the investor. But the money is not insurable, so you don't get the big investment. What DP World did was out of how can I say it to you? The Chinese tried to come to our port in 2015, and DP works with Americans very close to Emiratis, hand in hand, and they could not let that happen because of Djibouti as well. That's why they came, and it was a blessing. Alhamdulillah, it was a blessing. In the end, I don't think we had the best deal, but we had a deal. That's the most important bit, and the deal became kind of good because the port is well operating. The people in the community is making money, jobs are available, and people in the Sahel region are totally happy, and the services are good. And now with the trade to Ethiopia, God willing, when we get the customs sorted, the port will be even operating at a high capacity. And it's again a big advertisement for our country to have an operator like DP World here.
MashaAllah. Now, hopefully more to come. And this all hopefully will lead to recognition, which we're going to talk about in the next episode.
It was amazing. I hope you learned something. And God willing, let's continue this journey of growing, and let's continue subscribing and supporting the cause. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.